What is up? Matt Pratt here. Yes, we are working on my own personal car for once, my Supra. I haven't put out a video on it in a long time. Things have been crazy. I'll talk about all that later. Yes, the 200-some thousand views on the last video I put out, dude, I appreciate it. Mind blown. I'm used to getting like 500 or 600 views and I get 200-some thousand and an extra 2,000 subscribers in a weekend. Like, that's crazy. I'm super appreciative of it. I want to thank every single one of you guys, and it's motivated me to get my ass in gear and work on my Supra. So that's what we're doing. We're pulling out the trans, we're pulling out the motor, kind of a weird way. First time ever pulling a motor out of my shop. Stay tuned, let's get on it. All right, we are up in the air, and the reason that we're up in the air is because we're actually gonna pull the transmission out, along with the drive shaft, along with the exhaust. We might leave the diff in there. I got a new diff for it, but we might leave it in there for now. Yeah, but I think if we pull this transmission out first, it'll be a lot easier to pull the motor out the top. Now, I don't have a cherry picker, and a lot of guys usually pull this whole motor out, one assembly without the cherry picker. Going to do something a little sketch, but we're gonna drop the transmission first, because I don't think it's too hard to do. It should only take me a few hours. And then we're gonna take the car, spin the car around, and we're gonna use the lift like a cherry picker to pull the motor out. Sounds like a good idea right now. I just don't have a cherry picker at the moment. I don't feel like buying one. I'm gonna try it that way first. It might be stupid. All right, let's get some tools out and start taking out this exhaust, drive shaft, and then the transmission. This one-piece exhaust, crazy. This is the kind of stuff that I've been seeing all over this car. Freed Engineering is making me a really nice exhaust. Can't wait for you guys to see it. It's their very own exhaust. It's gonna be pretty cool. It goes along with their very own intercooler and all that too. All right, so next we could probably pull this transmission mount off, drive shaft, this big old thing. If I can get that shifter out without going in from the top, that would be awesome. Maybe not. We'll figure it out. And now that we got the exhaust out the way, we can get to the bolts pretty easy. This one up here is gonna be pretty tough, but it looks like I'm getting an extension in there on this side. What? What is this? I guess someone dropped their light. We got the drive shaft off. It was a weird combination. It kind of just fell out. It's pretty crazy. The trans mount down. I realized I probably got to do the shifter now. Take that off. And disconnected the slave cylinder, but there's still some weird bolts I got to pull from weird angles for that. But yeah, I think we're going to lower it down, take the shifter off. Took this trans mount off, but I think I'm just going to leave it. And then yeah, after the shifter, we can just hit all the bolts on the bell housing, and then we can figure out how to fight this thing off. like doing here is, I'm gonna need this. The way I do transmissions by myself is I got this steel table and I leave one bolt in the top, and I'll drop the car down onto this steel table until I'll drop it down to where the transmission will hit, and then I'll crawl under here and hit that one last bolt, and then I'll slowly try to slide the transmission back. Just make sure I got enough room back here. Try to slide the transmission back and onto this table so I'm not carrying the whole thing on my shoulder. Going back in, it's always a little bit harder. You do gotta kind of muscle it up there and slide it on, but I've been somewhat successful with the only other transmission I ever did in my life, which happened to be that Jeep. Transmission. Oh, this thing don't roll right. I'll drop the Jeep on it. So, about one of these caster wheels. Anyways, there we go. Now we get to see. Pulled one of those bolts out and it had a ton of oil on it. It doesn't seem to be any oil in here. All right. Not too hateful. I'd expect it to be a little wetter in there, but it's not. I mean, once the motor's out, we're gonna rebuild it with all new seals and everything, so not really worried about that. Is there anything back here I need to get to prevent me from tearing this motor out? Maybe this wacky ass fuel line. Yeah, it looks like I could just hit this fuel line real quick while we're under here, and that should be it. And then we can do the rest from the top. Your motor mounts from down here. I hit those real quick, and the rest from the top. All right, let's do it. All right, looking at the top here, doesn't look too hateful. I have taken a few motors out in my time, like Hondas, man, I've done that 100 times. My 240, I've done it a few times, but I've never taken out a Toyota motor. It's usually you take out one motor, you can take them all out. Just take everything connected to it off. I mean, we got the radiator and everything has to come out. The wiring harness somewhat has to come off. I might be able to pull it from the cab and lay it on top of the motor and pull it out. There's a ton of hoses here that need to come off. Power steering lines need to come off. So a couple things, but it doesn't look like too much work. I am gonna start with taking off the hood so we can gain some better access to this thing. It's gonna make it a lot easier to pull the motor out. I kind of wanted to take the fenders off because I know I'm gonna be leaning on them and scratching them. But if you guys remember, I didn't finish polishing this thing just because I knew I was still gonna be working on it. I'm gonna be smudging it, cleaning over it and everything. So, but like I said, I know a good painter. He's got my back just in case I mess anything up on this car. quick little tip. If you're trying to take your hood off by yourself, number one, don't. Call a friend. And if you don't have any friends like me, take like this, I put a blanket here and I just tucked it in behind the corners. And then I loosened up each bolt carefully, holding it the best I could. And thank goodness that's an aluminum hood. It's light as hell, and I just picked it up off of there. The scary part is those corners, whenever you pop them off, you can slide back and crack your windshield. I've done that a few times working in a body shop. Not proud to admit that, but it does happen. I think everything is separated from the motor. Got the wiring harness just sitting on top of it. I'm pretty sure this thing can come out. Now from underneath, I remember there was some hoses that were attached to the bottom of the motor that looked like they went to the power steering, but I think I undid all those. I got a feeling that when I start pulling this thing out, it's gonna tell me you still have work to do. So we're looking good. The next step is to actually take this thing off the lift. I'm gonna have to spin it around, which is gonna be tough because I think my wife is asleep right now. We're looking at 12 o'clock at night, and push this thing back in by myself. And then I could just try to figure out some way I can make this lift this motor out, because I don't have a cherry picker. And I'm gonna try to do it without one, because that would be really cool. I don't have to have a cherry picker tying up space in my shop. All right, pushing it in by myself ain't gonna work. I have to wait till tomorrow. Just did legs today, so they're sore. And it's 12 o'clock at night. We got a lot done. Let's see if we can finish up tomorrow. See ya. All right, so we got the car pushed in here. The plan is to lift up, and we're gonna drag an arm over here, and then hopefully we can position this Supra right underneath of it. I'll put a chain on the motor. We'll use a lift to lift the motor completely out. We'll push the car back and then bring the motor back down and hopefully put on an engine stand. Hopefully that works. We're gonna find out. Lewis is double checking it. I forgot Lewis was even gonna show up today. I was trying to work on shop work, but if he's here, I'd rather try to pull this motor with another set of eyes and hands working this thing. So this probably looks ghetto as hell, but I'm hoping that it works out really well so I don't have to purchase a cherry picker. All right, so we ready? Cross your fingers. Good. looks like it's gonna have to, car's gotta go backwards a little bit. Let me help push it a little bit. A little more. Is anything, yeah, is all that stuff unhooked?
That's
what is it?
what's pulling it.
Okay.
Actually, this is what we're pulling. Look, there's one still connected.
What is it?
Got one in the back still pulling, and we got this still connected.
Oh, that should be unhooked. That's probably just
it is, it's just grabbing.
Yeah, so we just gotta push this. Okay, that, see?
Yeah, that's actually.
Oh, okay, I see it. Hold on. To that. I knew those lines were gonna confuse the hell out of me. But hopefully, should be a quick little zip. And that one line is loose, you said? All the wiring harnesses are... Alright, let's go up a little higher. How high are we up on the lift? Oh snap. Let me get a picture for this. And yeah, it looks like it worked. Pretty good. Yeah. So that line right there. Step one for this motor process is done. Getting it out. This thing is beat. This is what 160,000 miles looks like. I guess bust the clutch off and then we can put it on one of the motor stands. This don't look like it's too hard to do. Just rip a bunch of 12s off it. Alright, there she is. She pulled. She looks pretty good. Wiring harness is still on there. We just unsnapped that, snapped a new harness on. Once the motor's completely built, I think we got new motor mounts for her. Definitely going to do a timing belt, water pump, and all that stuff when we build it. So, cool. Getting interesting. This is kind of hokey. I don't have the right bolts for it. I'm gonna go to work tomorrow and get some better bolts. I need like some of these suspension bolts. They need to be long enough. And then I'm gonna redo all that too before I take it over to Freed's. And we are knocking on at least 20 minutes of a video. That means I gotta go edit this. We got the trans, we got the motor pulled. The next step is to drop it off to Freed's, which will probably be the next video. I'll take you there, show you that place. It's really, really cool. I mean, nothing but Supras, super motors, and they just build the hell out of them. And we can go check out all the parts that I've been waiting for months, you know, for this Supra build. Yeah, from here on out, I hope to be putting out more videos. I wanna get more consistent with it. If you guys don't know, I know I've said it on a few other videos, but the past couple months have been crazy for me. It's been slow. The dealership that I work for that usually pays all the bills around here has slowed down significantly, and I've had to take matters in my own hands. I've connected with a few people that are helping me out, and I'm helping them with their accounts. You'll see some Amazon vans floating around here. I get some used cars from dealerships coming through here. It's quick, easy work, and it's paying the bills, which I'm super fortunate enough to be able to do that at my house at the moment. But the problem is I'm here completely by myself, and it takes all the time away from me working on my own personal stuff. So it's slowed me down a lot on my own personal stuff, but it's just a sacrifice I have to take in this temporary situation that we're in right now until things get back to normal. Having a ton of subscribers come at me in a weekend is so helpful. It's so motivating. It makes me think this channel could really be something. If you really think this channel is good, send it to a friend, like, comment, share, and most of all, subscribe, because I'll tell you what, if you think my videos are good now, they only get better the more subs that I get, the more support that I have, you know? So anyways, I'm gonna go out of this video. You know the deal. Go work on a car of your own, and I'll catch y'all next video.